Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Warhammer 40k Let's Play. So, not too much time has passed since the end of last episode. Our recovery team is not back yet, but luckily all of the other junk that we were dealing with has passed, so we are no longer dealing with solar flare, luckily. That ended within, I think it was just over 24 hours, so it didn't last too long. And then the heat wave tailed off just after that. And it was pretty rough. We actually had some people getting into pretty serious heat stroke, but luckily, just when things were about to, get really, really crazy, they tapered off. So I've queued up some more construction projects. We're going to start building the pillboxes along the outer defenses here. And I've also laid plans for sort of a very similar entryway that we have down here to the south. I figure it'll be difficult to force enemies to go all the way around because we have this really long exposed wall here. This wall is going to be double thick, mind you. That's what this gap is here. But yeah, these walls will be double thick with the same like crenellations that we used to have on this one before they were turned into pillboxes. So they'll be pretty well protected, but if anybody spawns over here, they may just try to go straight for the walls. And so I figure by having this here that sort of deters them from that, they should come try to attack the door. That's how they're programmed in their AI anyways. They love to attack doors. So we're gonna again have a very similar entryway here. We'll have the halls with the little pillboxes that they can get to. And we'll probably set up some sandbags in front with maybe a machine gun in each or something. But the idea is, again, just to deter them from attacking the walls. And my hope is that if we can get this place a little bit more defended, we can go attack that raider outpost and destroy it and get paid for it. But because the Chaos Lord who's pulling the strings of this campaign loves to raid so much, I'm very reluctant to send out a team bigger than the one that we sent for the loot recovery, because we never know when we're going to get hit. Now, speaking of that team, they are currently engaged. We were ambushed by the Haradni 13th, the traitor guardsmen that have attacked us in the past, who love their blight drones, and they have another one here. It's only the blight drone and Tony, as far as I'm aware, though. And this Tony is a surgeon, female, 37 years old, although apparently she's spent some time in the warp because her real chronological age is over 3,000, if I'm reading that right. Yeah. Let's see. She's a decent combatant, especially in regard to melee. Could be a combat medic as well. She's not particularly passionate about it, but she is serviceable. And then could be a decent miner and crafter as well. She's also slowpoke and trigger happy. So in regard to the traitor guardsmen, I've had to make sort of an executive decision here. There's a lot of people that want me to just kill all the traitors, but the thing is, we're never going to have any other people join us if we do that. Every once in a while we'll get somebody like Yaris who just kind of falls from the sky, but it'll be very difficult to keep up our colony numbers if we don't take on or at least don't consider taking on the humans we come across. So, as many of the other people pointed out in the comments, if they can be made to see the Emperor's light, then we will consider letting them join. And if they can't, then, well, we'll at least make them work toward the Emperor's goals by, digging in our quarry or something. So we're going to try to take them alive when we can and put them to work. If they are worthy of joining us, then we will consider it. But anyways, we have a fight on our hands here. So Bragg is going to move up to cover, as are Remy and Zima. Skinner and Graith are already engaging, so I'm going to have them provide cover fire until everybody else is set up. Let's get things moving, and hopefully that autocannon doesn't rip us to shreds. Skinner, you can start moving. And wow, that ended quickly. They're fleeing, but they're all dead, so yeah. Unfortunately, we killed Tony, so she won't be working in our quarry anytime soon. And then the blight drone is dead as well. Is there anything that we can do with that? No. Let's see. Remy missed it. Apparently it died before. Interesting. So it died, we shot at it and missed, and then its autogun bullets nearly hit Graythan Skinner. Oh, it actually did hit Skinner, who is slightly wounded, but not too bad. So we'll get him patched up. We are going to take this stuff back with us. And let's see, Tony, what did you have on you? There is a jumpsuit. I'm just going to leave your stuff on you. I don't need it. So Zima, if you could pick up those. Bragg, if you could pick up the grenades. And then, let's see, Remy, if I could get you to treat Skinner. Oh, I've got to get you to lay down, right? So, we'll just throw down a very quick sleeping spot. Let's mark that for medical. Rest until healed. And then if I could get you to treat him. Wait. Make sure we're not using medicine. Okay, yeah. Just stop the bleeding. He should be fine. Graith, you cover everybody with your sniper rifle. You guys appear to be ready to go. So as soon as Skinner's patched up, we'll get on the road again. We're actually, I think, most of the way home. But right as we went past the Haradni 13th base, they decided to ambush us. Didn't go particularly well for them, though. They didn't send out a very strong force. And I'm curious to see what their base looks like. I wouldn't mind taking them out. I'm actually very reluctant to destroy the tribal factions. Because again, the more humans, or the more human factions we get rid of, the less recruits we're going to have access to. And the more 40k enemies we're going to be facing on a constant basis. Alright, so you're all patched up. Let's get moving. We need to go back to the world map here. And if you guys could reform your caravan, everybody jump in. Make sure we bring the uranium. Don't bother with the corpse. Don't bother with the gear on the ground. Just whatever you've already got on you. And we'll go. Okay. So yeah, like right as we went past their base. But anyways, let's keep marching that way. It's going to take them 0.2 days. So we may see them before bedtime today. And they still have plenty of food, so it's really not an issue. And then once Skinner gets back, we can give him some proper treatment if need be. But I think he'll be okay. Those are pretty minor injuries that he had. We're also mining out this area. Although I didn't necessarily need this done right away. I don't know why they were so eager. Can I just get these? Thank you. I'll get that as well. By the way, I kept forgetting to rename Zfolok, so she is now Zorena. Again, one of the user-submitted names or the viewer-submitted names. I'll do my spiel here. So if you guys want to get a name into this playthrough, make sure you submit it in the comments with the tag, hashtag Warhammer 40k name. All one word. That way, if I go looking for them in my community tab, I can search the tag and your comments will all come up. And let's see, you have been renamed. You were Covey, you're now Yaris. So that one was renamed as well. But I think we renamed him last episode. If not, that might be new as well. But I always forget because I record these in batches and then I wait a couple days and I forget what I did. So, yeah, I always have to kind of go back and figure out what's new and what's not. Alright, so as they roof off the, oh, I guess they missed a spot there. Ooh, you know what? That might be a bit dangerous. I didn't even consider the fact that they would jump on that right away. I always give them plenty of things to do so that they never have to like stop and wait around for more orders, but every time I tell them to build a roof, they seem to get to it right away. I never intend for them to do that because, in this case, you know, this might end up collapsing on us, which would not be fun. So I'm just going to have them throw down a couple of limestone pillars here and there. I'll sort of drop them around strategically where they'll, you know, not need to be torn down later. But something like that should be adequate to keep any of this from collapsing. The only area that's really a concern, I think, is this corner. Although, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is exactly 12, which means that we narrowly missed the cave-in over here. But this, I think, is going to be a problem, and that may be why they skipped building right there. So we'll see. But I'll have them start dropping those in as supports, and then eventually the rooms will sort of form around them. But while they do that, I am intending... Oh, good, our caravan's back. Yeah, you guys go do what you got to do. I'm sure you probably want to eat and sleep and all that. We will have them ditch their helmets. Well, Bragg and Zima anyways. Remy can keep his on. I am going to try to get some more Kasserkin Carapace helmets for Zima and Bragg, since they already have the armor. And then the flak helmets can go to somebody else. Anyways, the little corner piece right here, I will probably build some bunkers into. That way anybody who's harassing the base from up here will at least be able to take some fire from this area. Oh, Clinton's slowing down a little bit. That's why we were mining so fast. So we're getting these rooms dug out. Luckily, this is all overhead roof, or overhead mountains, so as it gets dug out, we're not losing, or we're not venting cold air into the, hot environment. But these rooms are going to probably end up being, I don't know, maybe like warehouse rooms for more specific things. Things that we don't want to just leave in a stockpile outside. Such as, like, this is where all of our Imperial goods are kept, like the Promethium, the Ceramite, the Imperial components. All that type of stuff is being kept in here. That may change. It may get moved into, like, this larger room, or this may just be added to supplement it. I don't know yet. And then this room here is going to get subdivided a little bit. The bigger portion here, I think, is going to be our, like, our shrine to the Imperial cult, shrine to the Emperor. But there will be a hallway that goes through it, and then into this mountain here, where we can add a few more rooms, take advantage of this space inside. And then there'll be a room here, and there'll be a hallway that leads to this little space here. I don't know what that's going to be yet. Maybe just more storage. We do need more batteries. So some of these smaller rooms, like this one, for example, might end up being battery banks. But I don't need to really worry about it until we get there. Graith, when you finish that, can you deconstruct the other ones? I figured you would do that. So yeah, could you do these first? Just because they don't need to be there anymore. I decided to add a couple of extras because there wasn't quite enough light there. Alright, so you're all patched up. Way to go. Oh good, you guys already tore down that entire wall. Let's also get the limestone floors, because that's all that limestone is stuff that we don't have to cut ourselves. And this is why I sort of held off on those. Because now that we have all these massive building projects, we need all the limestone we can get as quickly as we can get it. And it's really handy to have those available. Whereas before we weren't building that much. We only had so many people that could actually build. So our construction was a lot slower. And therefore I wasn't as worried about resources being available. Because frankly, one person cutting stone blocks a couple times a day was enough to keep up. But now, it's not. Oh, Yaris, what's your deal, man? Let's see, you're wearing worn out apparel? Yeah? Okay, well, we'll try to get you some flak armor eventually. Your barracks is just too impressive, you can't handle it. Can't handle sharing it, that's kind of stupid. I don't like that mechanic in this game, but oh well. He's warm, yeah. I mean, that's a thing on this planet. Joy deprived. Go play some horseshoes. And then, for whatever reason, he's just feeling terrible. He's incapable of violence, so if he does have a mental break, it'll likely be, him just running around and pouting or something to that effect. I'm not really worried about it. Zima, what are you doing? Oh, you're making a bionic foot, right. Right. Who was that for again? I believe it was it Vuria? Yeah, because she's a prostophile that's unhappy with the fact that she doesn't have a prosthetic. She also is only at 67% efficiency with her left foot. So it's hurting her movement, and it's giving her a little bit of like base level pain. So I figure, what the hell? We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, fix her foot, make her more effective, get rid of her pain and all that. And then we'll give her a prosthetic to make her happy as well. I think that, works out pretty well for us. What's currently being made here? More Imperial Guard standard armor. Okay, that's fine. Let's get one more. I'll wait till those are done, then I'll queue up a couple carapace helmets. And those armors will probably go to... I mean, like, Yaris isn't capable of fighting, so I feel like he's the last one should get an armor. But I do want everybody in flak armor at the very least. This is an Imperial Guard base after all, so everybody here is a guardsman, whether they're a combatant or not. Sort of like the U.S. Marines. Everyone's a rifleman. I mean, Yaris can't carry a rifle, but still. He's a soldier first, and then everything else is secondary. If he's not a combatant, well, fine, but we're still treating him like one. So we'll get him some flak armor. Probably won't bother with a helmet or anything. But we want everybody in uniform. So our vitals monitors are done. Let's see. What were we working on? I queued up a bunch of stuff, and we didn't get as far as I would have liked, because, again, I didn't plan on being interrupted in their journey back. I planned on having most of this stuff take place off camera. But let's see, did I not queue up anything else? It would appear that I did not. Well, let me pan through this a little bit and see what would be useful. So nothing's really jumping out at me here. I think I'm going to do brewing, just because it's fairly quick, and it'd be nice to have some additional joy sources for them. We're not going to grow these in our hydroponics rooms. We'll just plant them outside, and however slow they grow, that's fine. With the tilled soil and stuff, I imagine it'll end up being kind of a wash. The heat will lower the speed, but the tilled soil will probably boost it back up to roughly default levels, which should be fine. So we'll do that, and then I'll queue up a few others. I think that, like, power weapons would definitely be cool. There is a few other things that would be nice, like advanced construction. So let's do power weapons, and then we'll do that. I'm also very intrigued by this Weber, because it's effectively a net gun. I'd like to see how good it is at capturing people. In fact, rather than doing these, because I don't have any immediate need for power weapons. We have those orc choppas, we have chain swords. We've got melee weapons kind of covered. These will be better, but do we need considerably better melee weapons right now? I don't think so. So let's do the Weber and then advanced construction. Then we'll do this down the line. I honestly don't think I'm going to give power weapons to anybody other than maybe Space Marines. Although, just about anybody can carry a power weapon in 40k. It's not like a force weapon, which has a very specific use. They are available in all shapes and sizes. Oh, cool! Our bionic foot's done. Verya, let's get you in operation. So yes, left foot, 67%. Just make sure I'm giving it to the right person. So we want to replace the left foot. Install. Oh, it's got to get dropped in the what do you call it? In the stockpile first. We still have a radium carbine lying around. What is this? Oh, right, the mech serums. The whole point of our adventure. So the way these work, and I mentioned it briefly, is it's like 50,000 XP to one particular skill, but it is affected by passion in that skill. So if we gave Bragg a shooting mech serum, he would get the full 50,000 because he's learning at 100%. Where if it was like a melee one, he'd get 150% of that, so it would be like 75,000. But if it's something that he has no passion for, he would only get 35% of that. So really what that means is you want to be giving it to somebody for a skill they have at least 100% passion for, or at least like the middle one. ideally you do this and you get even more free XP from it, but you probably don't want to be doing this because you're getting a lot less XP then. So we'll have to figure out who we want to hand those to. Again, we have a... I'm going to forbid them so that nobody secretly uses them. I don't think they would, but just to be safe. Honestly, the animal one we might just sell because I don't need people to be better at handling animals. Everybody is already pretty good at it, and we don't need that skill very much in the first place. Shooting is going to be a nice one. Crafting, definitely useful, and medicine is nice as well. So let's kind of take a survey here. I know that Zima's already a good shooter, so she's kind of out of the question. It wouldn't hurt to give Bragg the shooting one. He's already pretty good, but it would make him considerably better. He'd probably go... He needs 10,000 XP to get to level 10, so it would take him there probably 2 levels beyond that. So it'd make him shooting 12 or 13, I would think. You're already good enough. Murgo would benefit from it pretty well. Generally, the lower the level they are at that skill, the more they benefit as well, because obviously the XP requirement threshold is lower, so you gain more levels for the same amount of XP. So that's something to consider. Citra wouldn't hurt. Clinton definitely wouldn't hurt. And someone like that is probably a good option, because, again, lower level, we'll see more benefit. Definitely not you, not you. Liara would be a good one. Although I might gear her more toward melee combat. We'll see. Somebody who's passionate at both might be a good candidate for the Kasserkin stuff that we have on our main 3 combatants. Because then I can give them, you know, better armor, better melee and ranged weapon, and have them play a dual role like those 3 do. But the problem is, even though she's passionate at both, she's not very good at both. Whereas somebody like Remy is decent at melee, very good at shooting. Bragg is nearly as good as anybody at both. And then Zima is better than just about everybody at both. So what else do we have? Liara, we have Virya. She, I think, is another Kasserkin candidate. You're not going to benefit, really. You're already pretty damn good. You're more of a melee fighter. It's a shame she has no passion for shooting, because I don't really want to spec her toward melee, but she's going to learn it faster, where she won't learn this much at all. I think Liara is the best candidate for that shooting one. Liara or Clinton. And we'll look at the others later, because it's going to take a while to kind of sift through all that. And then, you know, potentially if we get more recruits that join us, they might be worthy of getting it as well. I might give you crafting, just so you have some use to us beyond cooking, social, and intellectual. Alright guys, so Halleck is on his way to install Virya's bionic foot. Interestingly, he appears to be doing it while she's still sleeping in her bed. So I don't know how that's going to go. I'd prefer he not do it in her bedroom. In fact, can I draft you and have you go... yeah, let's have you go eat your breakfast, you know, jump into a medical bed, and we'll do this the right way. Let's see. Any bed that's superior. Where do we keep getting these poor beds from? Like, who's making these? Let's see. I'll just mark them as non-medical so that she gets in one of the better beds. And then we'll mark them back as medical later. So let's see. You finish eating. You're going to take one for the road. And then you're going to jump in to a superior bed. And Halleck should get on that. Alright, let's mark these medical again. And Halleck. Perfect. Hopefully this goes well. What are you up to now? You're getting the foot, of course. Makes sense. That makes quite a bit of sense. Alright, so we'll give him a second to do that. Alright, here he comes with the bionic foot. So hopefully all goes well. Let's see, what's your medical skill up to now? 15, so it's pretty solid. His intellectual's already maxed out. And since that's all he does all day, it stays maxed out. Once you go beyond level 10 in a skill, you actually do get some deterioration of it if you don't constantly work on it. But in his case, that's, you know, literally all he does is work on it. So, Cashin, why are you running around in a flak helmet? Can I get you to drop that? Halleck has failed in a ridiculous way? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell did you do? How could you have failed that badly? He nearly killed her. Oh my god. She's got like cuts and scratches all over her. What the hell? Do I have enough herbal medicine to just like treat all of this? I suppose I do. Honestly, this is the only one I'm worried about. Let's just say no medicine for now. We can always treat it again later. How could you screw up that bad though? And do we lost the bionic foot because of that? That's so ridiculous. 15 medicine. 15 medicine in a superior medical bed. And he still failed ridiculously. Like that, the game even said ridiculous. That's how ridiculous it was. Oh, Halleck. Maybe I should have had somebody else do it. It's not like he's missing any, like he doesn't have any penalty to manipulation. He should be at 100%. So, I don't know how that possibly could have happened. Just like we rolled a 1 or something on the RNG dice. Bragg, I told you to take that helmet off, man. There's a mod that allows you to basically store helmets in people's inventories and have them equip them when they go into battle. I would very much like to install that and use it because managing these helmets is getting annoying. I don't like having them run around in them. I know that you can turn helmets off up here, but that doesn't help me because they all look the same when they run around on the map. They're all in green flak armor with a green helmet, and that, you know, it still makes them hard to distinguish, even if I can see their faces up here. So, preferably, I would just have them not wear the helmets until they need to, because they're not getting shot at right now. They don't need a helmet on. But when they go into battle, obviously they do, and it's kind of a hassle to have to like run to a stockpile or like a shelf or a dresser to get them to equip them. So that would be a nice compromise because they have inventories. There's no reason why they can't, you know, just have a helmet somewhere in their gear and then throw it on whenever they're ready to go fight. So I'm going to look into that mod again. I'll probably add it to this one. I might add it to the others as well because in the Skyrim playthrough I feel kind of the same way. The helmets are really cool looking, but I don't need them wearing them 24/7. Luckily, I don't think they have any penalty to manipulation or like work speed or anything. But still, it just, you know, it's more realistic to have them not always in full combat gear all the time. Oh, we're wasting some materials over here. We fail an awful lot for, like, as good as a lot of our characters are. So he's at 11 in construction. He doesn't like it, but he's pretty good at it. By the way, the design on these, the back half of it, so these 3 blocks are all just limestone walls, but everything from this point, like this center point forward, is all embrasure. So we can fire pretty much any vector at any vector forward. But if anybody breaches these and takes them, they won't be able to fire out the back at us. So they only really work in one direction, which is exactly how we want them to work. Also, once the doors are in there, if people were to fire at somebody inside, we don't want stray shots potentially going all the way through and hitting stuff behind. So it sort of serves a dual purpose in that way. And I think they'll be pretty effective. These are big enough where we can move like the heavy stubbers, the M2 Brownings, we can actually place them in here with enough room for somebody to man it. There's also heavier guns in that same mod that we may consider looking at for along here as well. But yeah, we can definitely put one in each of these if we choose to. And then you can sort of see it here, but I'm running a chain link fence between each one. Behind that, this row of planting things here is going to be sandbags. So anybody who's not in one of the pillboxes can run and set up on the sandbag line. They'll have pretty good cover because the chain link fences give a little bit, 15%, and then these give like, or the sandbags give like 65. So if somebody's shooting at them, they'll be fairly safe, or like relatively safe. And then if anybody tries to rush them, they have to knock down the chain link fence first, which the chain link fences are not that much weaker than steel doors. So steel door is 250, a chain link fence is 250, but the chain link gates are 150. But we're not going to use any of those, we're just using the actual fences. So it's effectively a line of steel doors that they would have to break through in order to get to us. But we don't have to pop in and out of the steel doors, we can fire straight through them. And they give us a little bit of cover for people shooting back. Obviously the sandbags are more for that purpose because 15% is not great. So if we can have a little bit more protection, we'll take it. That said, I think I'll end the episode here. I can't believe we botched that operation. Now we have to make a whole new bionic foot. Plasteel is not easy to come by, and so I prefer that not continue to happen. Like at all. Like he nearly killed her. I don't know how he screwed up that bad, but her entire body is like mangled. And some of these are pretty serious, like her right lung is crushed. That is so ridiculous. So, we're gonna have to try again. She still needs a new foot, but she may need some new parts as well. Which, I don't think she'll mind. She is a prostophile after all, but I mind because they're expensive. So, with that, we'll end it here. Let me know who you guys think are deserving of the Neurotrainer mech serums. Again, we have animals, which I may just hold on to and sell because we already have enough people with animal skill, and I don't really care about it. But we have shooting, crafting, and medicine. So, it's 50 XP, plus or minus whatever percentage, to one character, one time. So who should get them? And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.